Hi, I'm Dr. VP Shivakumar, a senior consultant pediatrician and newborn specialist from Janya Child Clinics, Chennai. In this video, I'll be talking to you regarding bedwetting of kids. Is bedwetting normal? Up to what age it is normal? Do we need to intervene? Are there any medications to correct bedwetting? Yeah, the answers will be given in the video. Well, what do we call as bedwetting or nocturnal enuresis? Nighttime passage of urine. Say, we expect bladder control to be attained for almost all the kids by age of 5 years. If the child continues to pass urine in the bed in the night times without their control, we call it as bedwetting in kids or enuresis. Above the age of 5 years, until the age of 5 years, we consider it to be normal because of the delay of nervous maturation system, because of the delay of the maturation of the nerve functions. Until that age, it is normal. Anything beyond that is, we label it as bedwetting. Even then, it is normal. Say, roughly about 15% of the kids do have bedwetting beyond the age of 5 years. But and most of them resolve on their own as they grow. They outgrow the symptoms of bedwetting. And if we see around 10 to 15 years of age, only hardly about 1 to 2% of the kids do continue to bedwet. So we need not worry. We can think that the child's bedwetting will get corrected on its own. There will be spontaneous resolution of these symptoms. Like there are two types of bedwetting. Say normal bedwetting or primary enuresis, and another type of bedwetting where we consider it to be abnormal if the particular bedwetting is associated with bladder problems in the daytime. Say what all do we need to consider in as daytime problems is the child has urgency to pass urine. The moment the child wants to pass urine, the child has to pass the urine. Otherwise, he will wet his pants, wet his trousers. And there is an increased frequency of urination. Like up to what frequency is normal? We consider up to 8 times of passing urine is normal. Anything beyond that is slightly on the higher side of passing urine. So in the daytime, if the child passes more frequent urinations, if the child has urgency to pass urine, if the child has pain in the genital region or in the lower abdomen in the daytime, if the child also has constipation, we need to consider that the child might be having bladder dysfunction and we need to evaluate regarding the same. Otherwise, we need not to worry. Some of my patients do ask, Doctor, why my kid alone has bedwetting? Actually, you are not alone. Many kids do have bedwetting. Only thing we notice only are kids. So the common theories behind this bedwetting are that the delay in the nervous maturation system of the bladder functions. That is nothing but the nerve function is getting slightly delayed, but you will definitely achieve it. Another thing is sometimes it runs in the genes. Sometimes the family, either the siblings or the cousins or the parents themselves would have been having similar complaints. And some kids go for a deep sleep, and during the deep sleep it is very difficult for the brain to arouse them to go for bedwetting. And sometimes the bladder muscles will be overreactive, and in some scenarios the bladder holding capacity might be slightly low. Many people do ask, Doctor, do we need to undergo some lab test for the same? Actually, a thorough clinical history and examination would be sufficient to figure out the cause for bedwetting. If there is no other cause, we need not do any tests. except for a simple urinary routine examination to pick up if there is any infection in the body, if there is any infection in the urinary bladder, or otherwise we need not undergo any special investigations. But I would like to say that in certain instances, we should definitely go for ultrasonogram or MRI scan. What is that scenario? Yes, sometimes kids will have spinal cord abnormalities. The spinal cord abnormalities is nothing but the back of the backbone region if there is any abnormality, because the nerves from the brain pass through the backbone, pass through the vertebral column and end in a tuft of nerves. Any problem in the spinal cord will be having associated bowel and bladder problems, will be having associated urinary and motion related problems. So we should be on the vigil if we notice any spinal cord abnormalities in the kids. See, how to pick up spinal cord abnormalities? Mostly it will be obvious, or there might be some clues for us to figure out spinal cord abnormalities. There might be a swelling near at the area of the backbone, more so in the lower region. Sometimes there might be a dimple in that vertebral column region and the terminal region. Otherwise, some children will be born with excess hair in that particular region. If we notice such abnormalities and also bedwetting, we have to carefully evaluate them for any underlying neurological problem.